give like scenarios. I'm like very like hands-on, like I learn like very hands-on. So it's like kind of like give them like different scenarios or something like that. But it's kind of hard because now like every like whatever like all these like media posts and things are pretty like just negative. Like there's barely any positive things like on social media, on TikTok. Like the trends are very like they move really fast, and a lot of it is super. Some of them are like knowledge or helpful, but most of them is like just negative. So it's kind of like, how do I like personally, like how do I help like my community kind of like, you know, our young people kind of like figure like look into like see what's it called? I don't even know where I'm going with this conversation, but it's more of like a it's more of, oh gosh, I just like had a brain fart, sorry. So it's like more kind of like if you have like if you do your own research and like, you know, and you're talking to someone and they have a different perspective or a different like, you know, idea of what you're talking about, then as a person, like to me personally as a person, I would like, you know, just give my facts, like drop my facts, like this is what I learned, this is what I know, this is my research, and it's, you are entitled to your own like, you know, your own opinions, and that's what you believe, this is what I believe, and you know, we'll go from there and just walk away. That's how I work with that. But yeah, I'm gonna stop before, yeah.
I would say the yeah, if someone's coming at you with some negativity, just walk away. Don't waste your time with them. I would tell every young person, don't waste your time. Just move on. If it's not on no positivity, if you feel anything negative, just move on. Right? To me, I think it's just a waste of the time to say you have your opinion, I have mine, you have your thoughts. No, I don't have to do all that. Peace. Conversation's over. Leave, right? Because one, that just like if it is negative energy, it's just like you know, you disperse that energy, you get away from it, and you move on to something else. Go to another part of the playground. However, I do think what's important too is that young people learn to use their voice. And we learn to use our voice through writing. We learn to use our voice through poetry, and giving them opportunity to speak up and share their words, giving them opportunities and platforms while they're young, like that, to like talk in front of people, so that, you know, they can be able to assert themselves when it comes time for the job interview or all this other things that happen in life and stuff. But teaching them how to use their voice is probably the most important thing I would definitely say. And once you know how to use voice effectively, it's easy to like dismantle any negativity, to get away from it and everything. And if you can get away from it, you can still cut it down with positivity. It's okay just to break out in a song or whatever if someone's like really bugging you out. Just, you know, these three little birds are on my doorstep, and just go all in and like, and so what? Move on. There's so many beautiful ways to counteract negativity, but we have to just like get in the practice of that and start young people early and learning how to use voice and poetry.
Thank you for bringing up voice and poetry in the arts. I think that those are really important communication styles for young people, for adults too. You know, teaching kids to be emotionally literate, I think is really complex, but I guess it could be so simple too at the same time, right? But oftentimes we arrive at adulthood without emotional literacy of being able to identify what we're feeling and what we're going through. And so when those situations arise, they're incredibly uncomfortable because we can't even name it, right? And so, you know, one of the, again, an example of practice is at nighttime every day, I ask my son, what feelings did you feel today? And we work it out, you know? And again, I think with a gender lens on, I think that that's incredibly important to be able to articulate feelings. What, you know, he might say, I felt happy. Oh, what made you feel happy today? And attach those experiences to an emotional literacy of being able to name that. And then also again, more for like, from like a Newback perspective, is knowing yourself so well, being so culturally grounded in who you are, that you have no doubt and no hesitation in those moments of conflict of knowing where you stand. You know that your family is there with you, your ancestors are there for you, your community surrounds you with love, that you're grounded in who you are, and that it isn't such a barrier to state your positions or your values or your beliefs, but that you have that confidence from a cultural foundation. You know, I think that's really important. I also have an elder who's mentored me for a long time, and they always tell me, from the first day I met them, they said, you have to learn to ask the right questions. Ask the right questions. And I'm still learning that, and getting children to ask the right questions. So if they're in a situation that makes them uncomfortable, whether it's about race or gender or capital, whatever it is that is making them uncomfortable, you know, if it's a microaggression that was mentioned too, and someone's playing it off, you know, it's as simple as saying, oh, can you explain to me why you think that's funny? Teach them to ask the right questions and have that critical awareness, again, that's coming from their solid foundation, that they know who they are when they ask those questions.
I mean, what I thought of right off the bat as you were saying that was your son asking, do you love you? Like, that's him expressing to you that critical question. That's it. I mean, he's doing it right now. It's incredible.
Raise them so good, then they throw it at you.
Yeah. Every parent's favorite nightmare. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, geez. There's, again, so much there to reflect on. But I think that really hits on just building the opportunity where children and youth have the choice to have a conversation and to be there in their full selves, and they have the choice to ask the questions to move the conversation at a different place, and empowering them and giving them that opportunity to decide where they stand on something is a huge role in what I think a youth development worker needs to be. And then, so our last one that I had pre-planned, and then we'll go into some conversation points from our community members here, is just how can we support youth activism? So knowing that what's happening across the country right now is primarily youth-led, knowing that the media and what we're seeing in the news has highlighted, unfortunately, and very systematically, some of what they perceive to be the negative parts of this movement, but knowing that there's so much love and intention that's being led by very young people at the front lines who are doing incredible work. What can we do, you know, specifically here in Alaska, to support them?
Get out of their way. Let them do what they're supposed to do. That's what the young people are supposed to do. Get out there and do it. And like someone said to me the other day, but I don't know how to do it. I was like, well, we didn't know how to do it. You know what I'm saying? Just get out there and do it, young people. And when they do come for help and everything, don't control them, you know, just guide them. Okay, this is what you want to do. No matter how corny the event may be, no matter how, you know, whatever it may be, go ahead, child, have a good time at it. Oh my gosh, I had the best experience of my life early this week when this young person asked me, like, MoHagani, how do I do an open mic? I was like, oh my goodness, no one's ever asked me about MCing before. Like, out of all the things you could ask me, it's like, oh, because you hit me in the heart there, right? So I was like, oh. But it was just so wonderful. So I just told them, like, look, you know, okay, this is how you do it. This is your time. You make sure you control the mic the whole time. You know, the event, you have your people, and just do you. Have a good time and spread love. You know what I'm saying? You're like, you MCing, so you got to be non-biased. You know, do your thing. And it was just so wonderful. And then, like, some of the young people I met, I got to hang out with Marcus and Desmond. Marcus will organize the first protest 2 Fridays ago, whatever, downtown. And, you know, never did anything like that before at all. And just, it was just so wonderful. And to know those young people, like, on it, like, go ahead, like, boom, boom, boom. You know, so I can retire from social justice work here at 44. I'm pretty happy about that. You know, like, I can retire now. They got it. Go, young people. So proud of them, just like around the nation. Like, there is hope. We're going to make it after all.
Yes, that was the perfect answer. So I actually, what's his face? The young person that asked you about the drop, like open mic, is actually a youth task force member, and I've seen him grow from the beginning to now. And like I said, I feel like a mom. I'm like super proud of them. Like I just wanna, I just wanna like, kind of like give like, kind of like make a whole like red carpet and have them like, do their runway walk kind of thing. I'm just like, yes, it's your time to shine. Let me just, step away, so take a little step back. I'm here if you need help, but hey, go do your thing. Like you got this. So like, yes, that was a perfect answer. But also I want to like say, just creating opportunities for young people as well, like for them, like when they're going out, a lot of opportunities that I got, I was able to actually travel. This was before COVID. I was able to actually travel outside of Anchorage, Alaska, and kind of like share like the Alaskan love and perspective and with other cities and other states. So that was an opportunity that I am grateful that I got and received, and it's something that I want to push or kind of like give to the next upcoming young people that are going to be running things. I mean, doing what they need, what they know how to do, and just just be there to support them. Like that's the biggest thing for me. And whatever ideas, like what Mahogany said, even if it's corny, you're like, okay, let's see if we can make it happen. Let's, like at one point we were having a meeting and someone wanted to do a podcast and came up with this. I can't even remember what the name or what the title of this podcast was, but it was super cringy. Like everybody in the room just like got quiet. It's like, okay, wait, okay, let's work on it. Let's fix it. Let's see what other options we have, or let's kind of like say it and see if it catches on and something like that. So it's really just supporting them is a big thing for me. And I wanted to share this quote from Shirley Kersham: if they don't give you a seat at the table, bring a folding chair. I love that. Yeah, I love that. Has been like everywhere, and like from the beginning of my advocacy work, that quote has stuck with me throughout just throughout the past 3-4 years that I have been doing this. And I've learned so much, and I'm still learning at this, as I'm going through all this like process. And that quote has stuck with me, and I've literally physically have done that. I physically have done that, and it's not even locally. This was like in like nationally, like in the, I can't remember which one. I believe it was one of the homeless homeless, what is it called? Oh my gosh, like the big homeless what is the word I'm looking for? Where everyone from all over like the country, where everybody all over from the US like comes together and like have these different trainings, all these different things. So there was probably only like at least 4 or 5 young people that were there. And we we came together. We were like a little what's it called, a little group, and we're like, okay, we don't like this. Where's the rest of where's the rest of our people? Like I don't like this. So we literally walked up onto the stage. We walked up onto the stage, and we're like talking to like the main person that was running everything. It's like, how are you having like a homeless I can't even remember what it's called, but a homeless like intervention or whatever, like all these trainings and everything, when there's barely any like young people here, not even here to actually either be a part of it or not even on the stage talking and actually giving us information that that is needed. Like it was like pretty big, and a lot of us like kind of like stood up and walked out like, this is not it. Like that was a statement that was made in that room, and it was very powerful. And yeah, so that's that. Yeah.
Yeah, I put in the chat too, I've heard, you know, from an Indigenous voice, hey, that's our table. So, and yeah, thank you, I'd agree. The other thing is for, you know, littler ones, you know, I'm notorious for bringing my son with me everywhere. It could be those big conferences or those summits, and, you know, I mob him along with me. And you know, as I do this work, some people are like, how are you doing that and being a mom, and kind of like that Western expectation that somehow I'm failing as a mother because I'm, you know, taking different roles in a professional world. And to me, you know, having children in those spaces, they should always be welcome in those spaces, and they need to be there. And so I bring them with, and things even that people might perceive as unsafe, like a rally, you know, I think that that's also very important, that our children see the ways that we serve and take care of our communities, and that it's that bigger picture of locating themselves within a whole. And so again, like always just bringing them with, and having them witness it and grow up with that, knowing that they're supposed to be there within a collective, and it's not just about them as little individuals, right?
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's great. And I think your son in the background like really adds to that experience of he's getting to hear this, which is fantastic. You know, time flew by on me here. And so unfortunately, I don't think we have a lot of time to cover some of the questions you all submitted, but I really don't want this to be the end of the conversation. So I hope we can plan for future ones. One that just jumped out to me that I think would be relatively quick to answer. You all are involved in so many different organizations and movements, and so critical to moving Alaska forward. Somebody asked, how can I get involved in racial justice projects here? So if you all have suggestions for that, I think this crowd would love to hear it.
I can go. So, you know, there's a place for everybody, when we absolutely need everybody to be doing their part. And that is not people of color, though educating white people. I'll clarify that statement. But there's still a place for everybody in the movement. And that can look like so many different things. It could look like policy. It could be a lot of behind the scenes work. It could be funding people of color or students of color or youth to get in those positions for the front lines. It could be sending food. It could be donating stamps. It could be bank calling. It could be, there's just so many capacities in which people can be involved. And if you have money, donate money to the people who are doing the frontline work. Provide the equipment, provide the skill set. Sometimes we need people on audio and emceeing, and people who know how to do those speakers, and people to set up cones, people, you know, there's art builds for signs, you know, there's just so many ways that people can be a part of it. And sometimes the front lines, for lots of reasons, isn't for everybody, but there is a place for everybody in the movement into racial justice, and so many other forms of social justice as well. And all of it is important.
I totally agree. I often, the elders that used to teach me, you know, to say like, oh, Mo, it's just as revolutionary to be on the front line, stomping envelopes, you know, stuffing envelopes, taking out the trash at the end of the meeting, setting up the table. It's just as revolutionary being out on the front line. So whenever people, you know, my friends like, yo, Mo, I got something going on, they invite me over, you know, to be a part of it. If I'm there early, I help them set up, I help them take down. Every day it's like social justice work. Every day is putting in work for the people in the community that surrounds you. And then communicate, talking to the people that are around us, raising their awareness as much as you can, you know, in all by all means. Those are very important other ways to do it. People ask me all the time, like, Mo, I want to be down with this and that. I'm like, really, you have to, if you want to be down with me, you have to roll with me, because I do not wait for people. I got stuff to do. This is the time you're going to be there and be there. And sometimes like, yeah, oh, I wanted to be there, but this and that happened. I got things to do, you know what I'm saying? So like for me personally, if you know something's going on, you want to get involved, you just need to come on with me and let's go do the damn thing and make it happen. I don't have time for him hawing or whatever, but what if this or what if that? No, let's just go do it, you know? And then, but the other thing too, I think I was just telling my friend this too, was talking like, why is it so difficult we have here in Anchorage to get a lot of people in the Black community out to, you know, African Americans to be organized and everything. That's like, you know, and it's a struggle. Like, why? And we can't do nothing about it, really, you know what I'm saying? But lead by example. You know, we lead by example. Just do the work. They see you doing it and be consistent about it. And in time they'll follow, you know, and you never know who's listening. You never know whose heart you're touching, you know, whatever. And it might be you just planting the seed and it don't grow till 10, 20 years later, but you never know. So just do the work. So.
Yes, I love that. So what I would say, honestly, you all actually being on this call is the beginning of it. And you even just asking that question, like you're already like, you know, like what she said is you are planting the seed at this point, just asking that question first of all. So props to you. Thank you for doing that. And I also want to say just just be just do you, whatever you are, like whatever talent you have, whatever drive that you have, just use that and for the movement itself. Like, you know, like use your own, like put your own twist into it. You don't have, like, you can do it yourself, and if people will, like other people will, like, you know, see it or be interested and be like, oh wait, hold on, maybe, like just like what one of our young people, our YCF members, is actually hosting his open mic on Saturday. And as a person that's supporting him, like I'm here for support. I'm here for, you know, the behind the scenes, posting, sharing his helping him with his flyers, sharing all of that stuff. So, like, you know, just like they said, behind the scenes are also, like, people behind the scenes are also important. You don't always have to be at the front line. So so yeah, that's what I gotta say.
If you all have information about that event that this young person's hosting, I'd say throw it in the chat box. I'm sure you've got a crowd here that'd be interested in knowing more. There was a line that I heard at Native Movement at an event once that has stuck with me ever since, and it was, you know, we want to be living in the world that we're trying to create. And I think about that all the time, and that every small action that I take helps build this future that I'm envisioning. And so it's really getting involved. It starts in these small conversations, and then it grows into smaller actions, and then bigger actions, and every day it builds. And I think that that's phenomenal. I am fangirling over here. You all are absolutely incredible. I am so honored to have each of you at this conversation, and thank you for your honesty. Thank you for your storytelling, for sharing this with your children. Like, I'm just really thankful, and thank you for all of our audience here. You know, if you have more questions about how to get involved, I'm happy to help point you in some directions. There's a lot of work that needs to be done. So with that, I'll say we'll sign off, and hopefully we can continue this conversation in different ways and at different times.
Thank you.
Thank you. See y'all tomorrow. Open mic, 4:30 p.m. Valley of the Moon Park.
There we go.
Come to be there and listen to the young people more than anything. Be there and listen to them.
Anna.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you.
Slowly dwindles down to the Brady Bunch.
Taylor, that was awesome.
That was so good. That was incredible.
How many people were total? I had to I was having tech issues and then I had to switch off of the computer. So I'm on my iPad, so I can't tell how many people came on total.
Max was 66.
That's awesome.